Hi class, this is lesson 12.3, surface area of pyramids and cones. So it says a pyramid is a polyhedron in which the base is a polygon. We've already talked about that. And lateral faces are triangles. With a common vertex called the vertex of the pyramid. Okay, so we have a difference in two things here. We've got a lateral edge versus our base edge. So the lateral edge, remember, those are our sides. Those are on the sides. And our base edge is going to be on the bottom. Next thing, it says the height is the perpendicular distance between the base and the vertex. Okay, so my height is going to come from the vertex right down to the middle of my base, and it's going to be perpendicular. And that right there is going to be my height. A regular pyramid has a regular polygon for its base. So regular, we know all the sides are the same size, all the angles are the same size as well. And the segment joining the vertex and the center of the base make a right angle. So that's for a regular pyramid. The slant height, and we're going to use L for slant height, is the height of each lateral face. So the slant height would be if I went from the middle of my base here to my vertex, and I drew a line here, and that's at a right angle, that would be my slant height, my L. And then you're going to have that same height throughout all the faces. Alright, so it says find the area of a lateral face of a pyramid. So the lateral face, we want to just look at one of these faces right here, and that's a triangle. So I'm going to redraw my triangle. Okay, it says the area of each lateral face. So since that's a triangle, I know the area for a triangle is half my base times my height. Now my base right here at the bottom is 90 on that one, so my base on the other side is still going to be 90 centimeters. Okay, but my height is actually going to be my slant height right here. That's my slant height, my L. And I don't know what that is, okay, because I know it's got to be at a right angle. So I have to find my slant height. I have to find L. And in order to do that, I'm going to look at this triangle that they've drawn that I'm highlighting in red right here in the middle. That's a right triangle. And they tell me my height of that right triangle is 97 centimeters. And they tell me this bottom of the triangle there is 45 centimeters because that's half my base. And since it's a right triangle, I can use the Pythagorean theorem to find the third side of that triangle. So I can say my hypotenuse squared, and that's my slant height. So L squared equals 97 squared plus 45 squared. And then to get L alone, I'm going to do the square root of both sides. I don't have to do any subtracting. So my slant height is the square root. If you do 97 squared plus 45 squared, that's 11,434. That's a comma there. It's kind of off the bottom of my screen, so you can't see it very well. It's 11,434. So I'm going to keep it like that because if you actually take that, you're going to get a decimal, so we're going to keep it that way. And then I'm going to plug that in for my height over here because my slant height is actually the height of this triangle. So let's finish up the problem. Area is going to equal half. The base of my green triangle here is 90 times my slant height is the square root of 11,434. And now if you put that in your calculator, we haven't done any rounding. Now put that all into your calculator, and your final answer here you can round. So that's 4,811 and 84 hundredths. My units would be centimeters squared, because since I'm finding the area of a triangle. And that's my answer right there. The key being, though, I had to find the slant height. I had to find the height of this right here and use the Pythagorean theorem in order to find that and use that as the height for my triangle on my side right here. Alright, let's do this on your own. It says find the area of each lateral face. So I want to find the area of each of these on the side. There's going to be 4 of them since my base is a square. And this side down here is going to be 20 millimeters. And they give me my slant height right here. It's L. So area equals half my base times my height. So area equals half. My base of that green triangle is 20 millimeters times my height is actually my slant height, and that's 30. So area equals half of 20 times 30. So if you simplify that, you'll get 300, and my units are millimeters squared. All right, let's look at the next side. So we're going to look at a formula here. It says the surface area of a regular pyramid. So regular, our base is going to be a regular shape. So the surface area S of a regular pyramid is S equals B, capital B that is, B is the base area, plus 1/2 capital P, P is the perimeter of the base, times L, and we just talked about L being the slant height. So you do your base plus, and then you do half of your base perimeter times your slant height. So I've got to add my base, and then I've got to add the sides, the lateral edges on there, or the lateral faces on there. So example 2, find the surface area of the regular hexagonal pyramid. So we're going to use our formula. Our formula here is S equals B, so my base area, plus half capital P, my perimeter of my base, times my slant height. Now looking at this, S equals, well I need to find B, so I'm going to put B here because I need to find B, plus half P I need to find, well for P, I can find that here, and then my slant height, they're going to give it to me right here, and that's 18. Okay, so let's look at our base first. So my base, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides here. And if you look at this little triangle right here, I could find the area of that little triangle right there. And the area of that little triangle is going to be half times 8 times 4 times the square root of 3. Half the base times the height. That's how we find the area of a triangle. And if you think about it, that little triangle is going to be repeated in here. 1 more, 2, 3, 4. There's going to be 6 of them all together. 6 of those exact same size little triangles because this is a regular hexagon. So I'm going to take that one triangle's area and I'm going to multiply it by 6. So if you do 6 times 1/2 times your base of that one triangle times your height of that triangle, if you simplify that, half times 8 is 4. 4 times 4 is 16. 16 times 6 would give me 96 times the square root of 3. And that's going to be my base area. And again, I found that by finding the area of one little triangle and then multiplying it by 6. So my B is 96 times the square root of 3. That's my base area. Now my perimeter is a little bit easier to find on this one because your perimeter, well, this is 8, and 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 this is 8. So your perimeter is 8 times 6, because there's 6 of them, and that's 48. That's the perimeter of your base, so that's 48 times, and our slant height they gave to us, we said that's 18. So the surface area, if you multiply that all out, you'll get 598 and 28 hundredths, and my unit would be inches squared. Next one here, it says find the surface area of the regular square pyramid. So we know this side's 20 and this side's 20 as well. And this back's going to be 20 and that's going to be 20. So let's use our formula. Surface area equals capital B, so my base area, plus half times capital P, the perimeter of my base, times L, my slant height. Well, let's see here. I need to find my base area, okay? And this is a square, so my area is just 20 squared. So that is 400. So S equals 400 plus half times my perimeter. I need to find P. Well, it's a square, so it's going to be my side length times 4. So 20 times 4, that's just 80. So times 80. And then my slant height, they give it to me right here, it's 30. So times 30. So it wasn't too hard to find. If you put that in your calculator and simplify, you'll get 1,600. And my units are millimeters squared. Okay, we're going to talk about cones here for a little bit now. So it says a cone has a circular base, so here's my circular base, and a vertex that is not in the same plane as the base. So my vertex is up here, here's my circular base. In a right cone, the segment joining the vertex and the center of the base, so from the vertex up here down to the center of the base, that right there is perpendicular to the base. And the slant height is the distance between the vertex and a point on the base edge. So from here to here, okay, that's going to be at a right angle. And then this over here on the side, that's going to be my slant height. It says the lateral surface of a cone is the entire surface except the base. So let's use these idea of cones to do a couple problems. So the surface area S of a right cone is, we're going to use this formula right here. Surface area equals B, capital B, again that's the area of my base, plus 1/2 C, and that's capital C, that's the circumference, times L, and L is my slant height. So it says find the surface area of the right cone. We're going to use my surface area equals capital B, so my base area, plus half, capital C, my circumference of my base, times my slant height. And let's look at the picture. This 5 right here, that's my slant height. My base area, since it's a circle, it's pi times our radius squared. Well, my radius here, that's my r, that's 3. So I've got pi times 3 squared, so my base is 9 pi. It's my base area. My circumference of my base, well, that's 2 pi times your radius. So my circumference of my base is 2 pi times 3, and that's 6 pi. So S equals my base area, 9 pi, plus half times my circumference of my base, 6 pi, times my slant height, which is 5. They gave that to me. So if you plug that all into your calculator and simplify, you'll get 75.40 meters squared. And we can do an exact value pretty easily here. If you just do 9 plus 1/2 times 6 times 5, and then put the pi sign back on there, that would give you 24 pi, and that would be meters squared. That would be my exact value, and this would be my decimal form. Okay, let's do one last example here. So for this last example, let's write our formula down again. The surface area of my cone is my base area plus half my circumference of my base times my slant height. All right, here's my slant height. This 6, that's my radius. So my base area, since it's a circle, it's pi times our radius squared. So that's pi times 6 squared, or 36 pi. My circumference of my base is a circle, so it's 2 pi times the radius. So it's 2 pi times 6, and that's 12 pi. So let's just plug it in. My surface area of my cone is my base area, so 36 pi, plus half times my circumference of my base, that's 12 pi, times my slant height, which is 10. Just like up above, if we want to get an exact value, we could take that pi out and just do 36 plus 1/2 times 12 times 10, and then put the pi on the end. And if you did that, you're going to get 96 pi, and my units would be feet squared, because we're talking about surface area. Or, rounded, if you just put it all in your calculator with the pi button, you're going to get about 301 and 59/100 feet squared. So this is the end of the lesson. Make sure if you have any questions, you ask me about it, and have a great night.